Shalom Akim, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shah, Bashim, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles, elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to sincere Akim out there of the hopeful elect. All right? Yeah, a lot going on, man. You know, make this a quick video in spite of what happened with the mayor of New York City, Eric Adams. All right? Getting indicted by the federal government. It just goes to show you, it doesn't pay to sell out, man. You know, we've been talking about a lot of these celebrities who have fell, you know, to the so-called white man's injustice system. All right, even though these niggas are wicked as hell, but it doesn't just stop with these celebrity niggas. Right now, you got these politicians, Israelite politicians who sold out, you know, took bribes and shit. You know, everybody knows that politicians, American politics is corrupt. All right, you know, whether you a politician of your local municipality or you headed to the big times in DC, congressmen, senators, and such, you know, it's all corrupt at the end of the day. All right. And when you were Jake, so-called Negro, right, West Indian, Puerto Rican, like Mayor Eric Adams of New York City, when you sell out and get in politics and shit, because he was a cop as well, you know, he was also a police officer, but he was the Brooklyn borough president before he became the mayor of New York City. And you know, to play in that system, to play ball in that system, you got to be corrupt. It corrupts you. All right. And that's why the hammer basically came down on his ass. Now you can sit there and blame it on you know, his politics and what he had to say about the immigration crisis, you know, coming to New York, and you know, he stood on DC about it. All right, that's pretty much what the conspiracy theorists is basically saying. You know, Kamala Harris put a hit out on him or whatever. You know, ultimately Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shah put a hit out on him. But we're gonna see how it plays out. You know, whether he gets convicted or not. But for the meanwhile, it's basically a shame. You know, it's a shame that you got a so-called black mayor, all right, who's in the first of New York City history as a sitting mayor to get indicted on federal charges, man. You know, now, you know, all the mayors before him was corrupt. All them Edomites, you know, Bloomberg, de Blasio, Giuliani, you know, goddamn devil. They all a bunch of devils, man. You know, I'm sure they did way worse than him. Okay. But, you know, when you were Jake and you playing Esau's game or Satan's game, they bound to switch on you, man. Okay. And you know, who knows, he might be sitting in the cell with Diddy one day, man. You know, it's ironic how he gave Diddy the keys to the city about a year ago. Now P. Diddy's locked up, you know, and the mayor of New York City, he's currently facing 45 years for them charges of bribery, all right, and corruption. You know, he's facing 5 different counts. But the point is, the Most High judges his people first, man. And it goes to show you, you know, America is just a corrupted place, man. And that's the reason why New York City, and just like the rest of these American cities, is all fucked up, all right? You know, I'm going to bring out the book of Sirach in the Apocrypha, chapter 10, verse 1. It says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. That's right. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. You know, the greatest example of that is King Solomon. You know, when you read in the Old Testament, you know, in the book of Kings, you know, 2 Samuel, and it goes into the kingdoms of King David, you know, transitioning to King Solomon's kingdom. All right. Israel had peace for 40 years under the rule of King Solomon. You know, that's basically when we were at our I want to say prime, reached our highest pinnacle of, you know, having a great kingdom that was as close to the kingdom of heaven as we could have ever had it on earth at the time. You know, we had all of the nations under us. Israel was at peace with one another, you know. And that's because King Solomon, he had wisdom. You know, he prayed to the Heavenly Father for wisdom and knowledge to be able to judge his people. And that's what the Lord gave him. And then all of the riches, the exceeding riches came right along with that, man. You know? So it says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. That's right. You had kings from all over the world coming to see King Solomon's kingdom, the nation of Israel, when King Solomon was on the throne. All right. It reads on to say, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. All right. So as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. All right. And now, like I said, when King Solomon was on the throne, Israel was at peace. You know, justice was being enforced. All right. And it was no corruption. Unlike Mayor Eric Adams, and you look at New York City today, this place is a shithole, man. You know, damn near his whole administration has been under investigation by the federal government, you know, for corruption. All right, the school chancellor just recently resigned. You had the police commissioner, you know, he was basically forced to resign. All right, the director of health of New York City Board of Health, he had to leave as well. So, you know, everyone it was only a matter of time before, you know, shit was gonna get rolling to the actual mayor Eric Adams. And now he's brought up on federal charges, criminal charges. All right, you know, and you wonder why the city is all fucked up, man. You know, poverty, homelessness. It didn't just start with Eric Adams, of course. You know, this is the so-called white man society. Eric Adams is merely a puppet. You know, he's basically being ran by the so-called Jews. You know, anytime you see the mayor Eric Adams, you know, he's constantly surrounded by some fucking small hats dictating what he should do and how he should deal with the affairs of the city. All right. So it's really the so-called white man who's basically fucking everything up. And the reason why these cities in America and the whole country is damned. The whole United States of America is damned. All right. In fact, what's this scripture in, I think it's in Proverbs. Yeah, Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Okay? And the righteous are not in authority. Even though Mayor Eric Adams is an Israelite, and he's considered righteous according to the Bible. Okay? But he's obviously not in authority, you know? Because the small hats, they tell him, they dictate to him what he has to do to run the affairs of the city. Okay? That's why the city is all fucked up, because the so-called white man is ruling. I'm going to read that again, Proverbs 29 and 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. And you don't see nobody rejoicing, not here in New York, not here in none of these cities in America, or in the rural communities throughout America. Okay? Because the so-called white man runs America. He runs this world pretty much. That's why, you know, there's poverty, oppression, you know, murder, all kind of shit, man, taking place all throughout the world, in which people are not rejoicing. All right, they're in a state of misery. Okay, it says, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. All right, who is the wicked according to the Bible? The so-called white man, pursuing the Job 9 and 24, pursuing the book of Malachi chapter 1 verse 4. You know, we can go on and on throughout the scriptures to prove that the so-called white man is the nation of Edom, and they're the wicked according to the Bible. All right, so they're the ones that are ruling, and that's why the people are in a state of mourning. All right, so yeah, Eric Adams, he might be the mayor of New York City, but is he really in authority? All right, is he really in authority, or is he just the so-called white man's puppet? All right, because he sold out, and you know, the devil is going to turn against you, man, when you sell out. You know, you're just following in the footsteps of the likes of Diddy, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, you know, all of these celebrities that sold out. You know, he just delved into politics. You know, there's a lot of Israelite politicians, so-called black politicians, that are corrupt and, you know, painted in the light as, you know, the worst mayors and you know, congressmen, district councilmen of their communities, man, you know. All right, so it's really the so-called white man that's in authority and that's running shit, but of course the so-called black man takes the fall, you know. Prior to Eric Adams coming into office, you had what's this guy named de Blasio. De Blasio was the mayor of New York City during COVID. All right, and he basically ran the city down to the ground, turned this shit into a complete dump. All right, and then left it for Eric Adams to clean up, in which Eric Adams ain't have no real intentions on cleaning it up. Obviously, you know, he was taking bribes, and, you know, that motherfucker was taking bribes. All right, he's definitely corrupt. You know, you look up his history, he used to be a gang member. He used to be down with a gang called the Seven Crowns, man. So that nigga ain't right, you know. But nonetheless, it's all falling back on him, man. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end this on that note. Leave it there. You know, it doesn't pay to sell out, man. That's the lesson for the day. All right. Shalom, Akim, Lord willing. I'll see you in the next one. Shalom.